So a little different this week. The whole journal has been, I think, a success, but nevertheless, there's something missing. I want to do a better job at delivering that product, if you will. So I'm taking some time to reevaluate, decide where I really want to go with this thing, simply because it's the last leg of my off season. Very important leg. So we're going to take a little break from the usual programming, and hey, it's Thursday as of right now, so a little throwback video here. So here's one of the cool things about, I guess, existing in the internet, within the confines of this sport, this hobby, is that there's a lot of stuff that have put up before that, first of all, make me realize how far I've come, physique wise, but also makes me realize how far I have come up here in regards to what I know, but along with what I know, also what like the fitness world knows, and again, like when I say fitness, just throw everything under that umbrella. How far we've come, right? Because at this point, this was right along the lines of what was considered a reasonable approach. So anyhow, while we take a hiatus from the normal, gonna just throw in weird fun things in here, and today we're going to go back, take a look at an old training series that I put out back in 2010, so 10 years ago. Actually, a little bit. It was released September of 2010. So we're going to look at that, have some laughs together, and again, I think for you guys are going to see that. Damn, like that's what you were doing, Bert. And I want you to kind of relay this, apply this to your situation, because should you stick to this, 10 years from now, you will be in a totally different place, totally different physique. You will know so much more, and so will and we will also advance together as a community. So let's get rolling with this. Should be a little bit of everything. So this was called Alberto in 3D. Yeah, in 3D, right? So yeah. I think the track here was Young Jeezy, Love It, which was a gym banger in its own right back in the day, absolutely. Throwing in a few highlights here just to give people the Motivation Mondays. So far, everything decently reasonable. This row might be a little funny, but yeah, you're going to see, man, just where we were. And again, a lot of this was deemed appropriate and not totally, a bad way of going about things. If I recall correctly, I was running a West Side barbell influence type of system, so the conjugate system, which powerlifters don't even do anymore, really. And since, I mean, it did its thing at the time, but since then, powerlifters have come a long way in regards to how they approach their training. Looks vastly different from this type of setup. So the fact that a bodybuilder was using it is just kind of mind-blowing and definitely not efficient. So I started this series off with showing you guys my pro debut. This was after a treacherous prep, mostly because of injury. So somewhere in the middle of the prep, I hurt myself, and I was unable to train comfortably. And I was very limited in regards to what I knew and how to approach things, and it definitely, it showed up in my physique. Nevertheless, this was a huge lineup. I think had I shown up like in one piece, that waist is tiny though. That's the one thing that stood out. But everything else, I was definitely out polished by these guys, and I was humbled for sure. So again, had I shown up like in one piece, I still think I probably would have finished somewhere in the middle of the pack, and coming off of a season where literally every amateur show I did, not only did I win my class, but I won the overall, finishing in 11th place out of 11 competitors was a big wake-up call to, hey, Bert, you really are going to have to step it up. That's what the judges told me. And yeah, it was a successful off season, even though you're going to see that maybe we didn't do a lot of things right, but nevertheless, showing up, working hard, um, there's something to that, right? So this was my warm up for what would eventually be floor pressing here. And I was working dumbbells in some obnoxiously hard, heavy rep ranges, so like 1 to 3. On my max effort bench, in my case, it was dumbbell pressing day. It's just dumbbells. Again, I think if you're quite experienced with them, you can probably take them down to the 5 to 6 rep range. But again, like the setup is so quick, and sometimes draining, especially as you get stronger. That maybe lifting in that rep range might be left off. It might be done or should be done with movements that are just give you time to really wedge in, be tight, be safe. So I think that was all the chest pressing for that day. I did like 3 or 4 sets in the singles-ish rep range. So this one right here, look, I don't have too much beef with. I think this T-bar row actually fit me like a glove, like based on like where my humerus is angled. Because the thing with a lot of these T-bar rows is that if you're very tall, you can be rowing down to your stomach. If you're a shorter person, you're going to be rowing, up here. Thankfully, I'm average height, and they made this contraption here for, I guess, for people who are average height, or keeping them mostly in consideration. So this, nothing wrong here. I can't say too many bad things about these rows. I'd still use this machine, and I would not change a whole lot in regards to technique. Boy, I was tan. That's another thing, and obviously the hair. So physique, like what I noticed as of now already, I think, my back is just so much better, and I mean, it's not horrible form, but I'm definitely throwing a little momentum in there. So I've learned to knock that out. This dumbbell row. So remember I told you guys like my SI joint, like and sciatica issues and all that. So one thing I learned eventually is that you doing it in the staggered stance definitely messes that area up, because it's like my legs are twisting in one direction, then my body's twisting in the other. So that lower back SI area is just kind of like doing this. And then also, again, like if someone comes and touches your bar, like while you're pressing, the rep doesn't count. And that's kind of the issue with anything where you are rowing, is that, like watch everything below. And I mean, look at that back knee just kind of extending, which is definitely helping me with the load. But again, we just weren't as meticulous about form. I certainly wasn't, and there was worse. There was certainly people who lifted with way better technique, and go check out old videos from Jeff Alberts, and you'll see that is certainly the case. But yeah, we just as a community, we just didn't know better when it came to a lot of things. And believe it or not, at this point, this was quite cleaned up relative to like my weight room cowboy days. So yeah. But still, decent physique. I did end up getting on stage the next year, and we did all right. Whoa! So look at this. This lateral raise starts okay, and then so it kind of starts in the mid scapular plane, and then I have to pull it back closer to me, which just kind of tells you that this is probably too much weight. So yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, it's a relatively small muscle, right? Each head probably weighs 3-ish pounds a piece, 2-ish pounds a piece, maybe a pound. And the fact that, again, I have all these joints underneath just kind of assisting it. I think I was doing myo reps. Look at that, way back in 2010. But yeah, it's again, it's very easy for the rest of your body to interfere and and take away from the objective here. Hey, the delts still looked okay though, and again, it just kind of goes to show you like one for sure genetics. That's always been a strong point on me. But then also, hey, there's power in showing up and like working hard, and we certainly did that. Um, hey, these curls aren't too bad, not at all. I can't do them no more because, or not with free weights because they absolutely destroy my elbows. But no, I have nothing really obvious here to point out. I think maybe had I done it seated, it might have been better because again, less likely to throw in, uh, um, yeah, assist myself with, my ankles, knees, toes, hips, right? There's a song there somewhere. Um, Cutoffs were the thing. I don't do that nearly as much, and I think a lot of it just has to do with I like to charge it up. I like to charge it up and treat myself to basically taking it off and seeing what I look like. Go a few months without it, treat myself to a stringer or whatever, and then be like, yo, this is what I look like. So I like these. I still do like these. Bicep in a more flex position, good little finisher, if you will. I was about 189 to 190 pounds here, so roughly about 10 pounds lighter than I currently am. And again, impressive physique, but there's just so many things that are a little bit more polished up. Calves for sure. Look at that. Quads absolutely. Yeah, I think the things that have made the least improvements probably arms, which I think there's an argument there for very soon here, just having a day where I do nothing but arms, and not because I feel because I need to do that much work, but because that way I can just get in there and focus like solely on that area, which on me just mostly because of the shape of the muscle, it's just never going to be a holy crap area. Yeah, I was training 4 days a week. Definitely a macronator through and through. I would go through streaks where maybe I didn't track, so I couldn't intuitively bulk myself. So I had just started a mini cut here, I believe. I think that's where we were, and I had lost a few pounds, kind of debloated myself. I think this was we're going over the refeed day that I had coming up because I was very excited. You do this long enough, eventually you just become less. By default, you become less food focused because sometimes you starve, sometimes you're overeating, whatever it is. You're just not too caught up in what's going on now. Like your deepest, darkest diet is like eventually. I think that the food will be there later, and just kind of get used to the suck or the restriction or the over consumption. But at this point, man, yeah, I was all about it. I can't, like my diet is so plain now relative to how it was before. And then this was, this one, I completely forgot this was here. So I was posing to Creed Higher, which was being performed by both Jeff and Eric Helms over there, karaoke party at our friend Luis's house. And Creed was kind of a meme song because everyone would post to it. Like you'd go to a bodybuilding show about a decade ago, you'd have like 4 or 5 guys that would post to this. So basically here just kind of laughing at that fact, and then also just a lot of our favorite things that bodybuilders do that really no one enjoys. Like this one, the most muscular. I've done it though. I've done it. So, oh man, good times, and we were not under the influence here. So anyhow, this is where we were 10 years ago. How far we have come in many ways, and man, that boy should have grown his hair out. Would have looked way better. So anyhow, that is it. Kind of different. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll have more of these coming next week.